Hello. Welcome to Almost 80. I'm Bennye, your host. Now that you have rung the bell, come on in, have a seat, and make yourself at home.
Hey, Ma.
Hey,
How are you doing?
been good today. How are you doing?
I am doing fairly well. Celebrated a birthday yesterday.
I was about to say, do you feel any older or how do you feel having?
I feel exactly the same way I did when I was 53.
Well, you know what? I think that's the way it
That's the
goes.
way it goes. Every birthday you feel the same, don't you? Do
Feel
you
the
still
same.
feel the same?
Yeah, you still feel the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unless something
Yeah, catastrophic.
catastrophic
Uh,
has hit you between yesterday and today.
exactly. Otherwise, you feel exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So tell me this. You know, we're coming toward the landing of this plane,
Oh,
you
yes.
know?
Yes.
And tell me how it's been. We have a few more episodes to go, but share with share with the folks how it has felt for you to kind of go through this journey, this memory, right? Kind of going back down memory lane for all these things.
Well, to remember your past and to share it
Yeah,
brings to memory, when I hear some people say they are re-traumatized,
yeah,
I think that that might be a strong word because maybe I want to just say, because it all wasn't trauma.
right,
But to
right.
bring it back and relive it sometimes it's very emotional.
Emotional.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
emotional. And emotional in a good way and a bad way in some
right. All the whatever
all
emotions.
whatever the emotions bring, yeah, they
Yeah,
come back. Yeah,
yeah,
they come back.
yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way that's a gift that you, first of all, can remember them. you know,
Right.
there are people who don't remember their memories or don't know them
That's it. Yeah, I when I start remembering, I can feel myself in the
in
situations.
the situation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So things come back to me like, I'm in a garden and the flowers are blooming.
Yeah. You can smell it.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you've been willing to take the journey and share it with us. Not just take the journey internally where you're thinking about all these things, but I hope that someone maybe learns something about life here in the United States for this one particular young girl into young woman into older woman, your journey, that they learn something that maybe they didn't know before, just hearing a different perspective about how life is experienced around the country and around the world, right? People have
Mhm.
different stories. So yeah, I'm glad you've been willing to share yours with us.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So today we are talking about your work history.
My work history, yeah.
And that sounds so boring, right? It sounds like you're
Yes.
applying for a job. Can you please list your work history?
Right.
Like, can you just number them 1 through 10?
What
Yeah. Which is not what we're trying to do, but you've had such different types of jobs, that I think I mean, I can't relate to the expanse of jobs that you've had because I've led a pretty cushioned life. I think. I mean, one of the worst things I think I've ever done is work in a retail store
Yeah.
where I was checking people out.
Right. And you worked at a shoe store, for a day or 2, didn't
Did
you?
I? No, I worked at a grocery store for a day or two. Remember, I hated that.
Yeah, but you also worked at a shoe store one time. Uh-huh.
Did I quit? What did I
Yeah, you
do?
had to quit. It wasn't
I quit. Oh
that
Lord.
was not your lane.
That was not my little lane. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk about you. Okay,
Okay.
so tell us about how old you were when you had your first job, and then kind of give us the scenario of your work experience, and also was it like, can you compare it to maybe kids who were growing up around you? Were they also working? So if you can just start at your beginning.
Okay. And some of the things I might have hit on once before or something, so I'm just gonna kinda breeze through some of the things just so that it's kinda in a chronological order. I don't know why I wanted to do these this way, into these different compartments, but I think that's how
It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
I think it would make it made it easier to remember, and
I'm
not be
sure.
overlapping so
That's
much
true.
in your story,
Yeah, and not forget something, right? Because if you jumped around in your timeline, it
Right.
might be easy to forget something. Yep. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so I'm
We'll
gonna
start at the
talk about my
beginning.
jobs and my career or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you developed a career. I mean, you had a career in addition
Right.
to these other side jobs that you
Right,
had
right,
along the
right.
way. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think I started working when I was 9, and I think I
Hmm.
might have talked about playing for church when I was 9 years old.
Hmm.
And my daddy bought me a piano,
Yep.
that he paid $15 for. They were tearing down a house there in DeKalb, and I don't know how he got the word. I just have to say it's the providence of God, okay?
Yep. It all just
And
worked out.
yeah, it worked out. And, so I played for this church. I think they paid me, I think it was $3. Was it $3? Was it $3?
That was probably a lot of money in 1954.
Uh, I don't remember if it was a dollar or $3. Whatever
Something.
they started out with, after a little while, I went to one of the church meetings. I asked mom if I could go,
Oh
and
my gosh.
I stood up and told them that they needed to raise my pay.
You know, you've always had this personality, haven't you?
I think I have, yeah.
Yes, you have.
So they agreed and raised it.
Mhm,
So if
mhm.
you ask not, you have not, right?
That's true. Closed mouths do not get fed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then, so I played for churches in my area. And my next job, I would say I was around 10 or 11 when I started chopping cotton. And I've talked extensively. I think
Yes,
that was our first
yes,
one
that was the first episode.
yes, about chopping cotton. And so I've gone through that. I made like 350, I think it was like 350 a day chopping cotton in the hot fields. And after that, as a teenager, I started doing some domestic work, when I
So, like,
wasn't
the help.
when I
Like, just
wasn't in the
just to help
fields.
people understand what that means. Okay, maybe just tell us what it means to be a domestic worker
To to
in
de
your
to
experience.
be a domestic worker means that a Black person goes to a white house to work for a white family, okay? So, sometimes on Saturdays, I would work for Miss Walker.
Okay.
She had, 3 sons, I believe it was? 3 or 4 sons, I'm not quite sure, but one
Yeah.
was in college up in Paris, and he
Mhm.
brought home his dirty clothes every weekend, and, so he would come in on Friday night, she would wash them. So
Yeah.
on Saturdays, my job at her house on that Saturday morning, like, starting around 8 o'clock, was to, was to clean the house, the entire house,
Right, that's first. That's clean the
first.
house, which
Clean
is
the
a lot.
house,
Yes.
change all
Change
of the
all
beds,
the beds. Yep.
sweep, mop all the floors, dust everything, clean all the
Mhm.
bathrooms, all of
Mhm.
that. And I also had to iron, and I would iron up to, 10 or 13 pair, jeans. They were starched, and they had to be creased like they were from the cleaners.
Yes, let me ask you about starching, right? Like the
Uh-huh,
practice of starching. So I grew up in a time where you could just take the can
uh-huh,
and
and spray it.
spray,
Right.
but that's not how people starched back
No.
then, right? So tell me and tell the people listening what does starching mean when you're ironing and you don't have all of the modern day sprays and stuff like that?
Okay, there was a starching, element that you put in water, and
Yeah.
during the process of rinsing the clothes, near the last thing that you would do was dip it into this, starching water,
Hmm.
which they would come out, and then you wring them out and hang them out, and then they would be stiff, you know? They
Okay, I did not know that this is how people did this. So you
Yeah.
actually you rinsed it into a starching solution.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you hung it out to dry.
Hung it out to dry,
And did
yes.
she have a washing machine or anything? Like, how was she washing clothes?
Yeah, she did have, but this was like,
Okay.
a separate this was like the last,
The
thing that you
last
did,
step.
the
So
last step
she
in
would
it, yeah.
wash in her washing machine because I'm
Uh-huh.
assuming she had electricity as well with the washing
Right.
machine. And she would then also have to starch the pants when they came
Yes.
out. So she was doing all this before
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So she would have them ready and
got
when you
it.
took them off the line when they were dry, what you
Yeah.
would do in order to prepare them for ironing is that you had to sprinkle them. You sprinkled them with
Right.
water, okay? And you got it all wet and rolled it up, and everything was rolled up
Yes.
wet, yes.
Okay, so when you taught me to iron, because I've been, oh gosh, I use I think I was doing laundry for the house. How old was I, ma?
I don't know, you
Probably 10 or
at some
11.
point when you started changing clothes so
Well,
much, I
when I
said,
started changing clothes, you said this is a perfect time for you to learn how to do
"Yeah, learn
laundry.
how to do
And
laundry."
I also did everybody's laundry. Like, I did my laundry and you and dad's laundry
Yeah,
because
you
Tara
helped
was in
out.
college.
Right.
Yeah, I had to do everybody's laundry. Like, you don't try to make it seem like I was just doing it sometimes. You know I had to do it. So I did everybody's laundry, but I remember you're teaching me how to properly iron some things. And
Uh-huh.
you would have a spray bottle and it would have you'd wet I'd have to wet the clothes a little bit and then
Uh-huh.
put the spray on there that had the starch and
Uh,
ball it up. Yeah, you'd have
uh-huh.
me ball it up and, like, almost wring it almost,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't that
Uh-huh.
wet, it was just damp,
Yeah.
and then after you did that, you would lay it out and iron it. That's how you
Uh-huh.
taught me how to iron. So this
Yeah.
is something you have been doing
My
forever.
whole life. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
absolutely.
So you would get the clothes that had been dried outside, she hung
Uh-huh.
them on the line,
Uh-huh.
and then they would all be in a basket or something, and then you would proceed to iron them. Okay, and what else did you have to do for the family, or was that
And I
like
would I would iron about 36 or 37 shirts. I mean, I did so much work there, and I would be done about 1 o'clock.
How?
So
You must
this
have
is
been
like
running, like
I was I don't know
you
how,
were
to tell you the
working.
truth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was working fast, yeah.
Yes, you were.
But
Okay.
and then she would cook and they would eat,
Yeah.
and then she would tell me I could come and eat.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
that's very layered. But
Yeah.
I will say that I'm assuming that she felt that she was being nice to you
Uh-huh.
by
Yeah.
offering you food.
Right. Right.
And then even in that process of offering you food, it was clear that you were the help,
Yes, of course, of
that
course.
you were still the second
Yeah, yeah.
rung. You were not a family member, nor did you expect to be. But even in the ranking of how you would eat, it was always executed
Right.
somehow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
'Cause
that was your experience being the help. I think some people would identify with that word based on the book and the movie. So you worked as the help and you did that as a teenager, right?
yes, yes, as
Okay.
a teenager.
How
Uh-huh.
old were you when you started doing that?
Oh, I would say maybe 13, maybe something like that, maybe,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
it's about 13. And then she would pay me $3.
Okay. Well, that
Uh-huh,
$3, I'm like, is it which one was you got 350 picking cotton and then you got
uh-huh,
$3 doing this.
uh-huh,
Which
yeah.
one was the easier day?
Well, I would say domestic work is easier than
Domestic work
cotton
is
field.
easier because 'cause you're not
Yes,
outside.
not outside
'Cause you're
in,
not outside.
yeah,
Mhm.
hot weather.
Okay.
And then I would go to town, and, I could buy 3 yards of material for a
Mm.
dollar.
Oh. Mm.
And I would often get 3 yards of material,
Uh-huh.
go home, and because I think I told you about my sewing teacher, she had taught us how to
Yes.
sew.
Taught you how to
I would go
sew.
home and make myself a dress.
Your self-address,
Yes, uh-huh,
not
yes.
all the other people in the house. You said,
Well, I mean, I
making
made
myself
them
a dress.
some sometimes. I'd make myself a dress, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and so you kinda gave yourself a little treat. You rewarded
Right,
yourself with a little bit of a nice dress.
right.
I like that. Did you ever have to help granny and your dad by giving them money based on your work?
Mm, trying to think. Not as a routine,
Okay, so it
you
wasn't
know,
like you took home
if
$3 and they expected to get a dollar or
no, they
2.
didn't expect anything like that.
Okay, so it was
If
kind
I
of a
saw that
way
they needed something,
you
I
would
would
do
help
it.
out all the time.
Of
Yes.
course, but it wasn't expected.
No, it was not expected. No.
Okay, so this
Mhm.
is a way for you to get extra money for maybe some of the things you wanted.
And I don't know right, and I don't know if I said in the last podcast that, some of the women in the community, this was what their job was, you
Yeah,
know?
this is what they did all the
This is
time,
what they did all the time.
Monday through Friday,
Right.
and they would go to different people's houses every day, kind of thing,
Sometimes
or
different people's house, but sometimes the same
the
house.
same house because they were
Uh-huh.
like a maid. They were like a
Yes,
steady
yeah,
maid.
yeah, they go to
Yes.
the same
Hmm.
house, and what I tried to get them do, because they were paid $3 was to get together and decide that what they were expecting was $5, not $3.
So you were a rabble rouser.
Yeah, so mama
You
said,
would.
"No, that's
Yeah.
not you don't need to, you sit down over there in the corner somewhere, you don't know what's going on." So that didn't happen, but I thought that they should be able to unionize, you know?
I mean, it's so fascinating talking to you sometimes because you have these ideas like your whole life. I've always known you have quite the personality. You know what I mean? It's like, I love it. I love to see you in action. But you have always been this way. Like, even when you were a kid, you were trying to
Right.
lead adults. Remember you said at one of the prior podcasts that when you were in, like, junior high, you were
Uh-huh.
trying to get the high school students to go to
To go to
college.
college. That's what I was trying to get them to
Right?
do.
You
Yeah.
always had a vision that was a little
Yeah.
bit beyond, like, maybe your years. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not trying to, like,
Yeah.
prop you up.
Yeah, no.
I'm just trying to give you your kudos because I think you've always been a little bit ahead of yourself. Yeah.
And then when I went to college, my next job, we're talking about jobs today. Let's try to stay on
Let's get
point.
back on track. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you finished your domestic work, and in the last podcast you talked about how one of the ladies you worked with gave you so many things, and that she was so
Yes.
nice to you,
So nice
and
to
that
me.
she genuinely wanted you to do well. She wished
Yes.
you well,
Yes,
and
she did.
that meant a lot to you.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, one thing I didn't talk about was that, one night I was babysitting for this couple who had to go out, right? A young couple with children, small children.
Different couple. This
Different
we haven't
couple.
talked about these people before. Okay.
Yeah, I never talked about these
Uh huh.
people. And, so when they got back, he was giving me a ride home, which is 5 miles down a dark road
Yep.
in to Bethlehem community because they
Of
lived
course, from
uptown
DeKalb.
from
Hmm.
DeKalb, yeah.
Yep. That's a very long, very dark road.
Yes, and on the way there, he decided to stop.
Uh, and
So
you said,
he
"Oh my
pulled the
god."
car over and
Yeah.
stopped, and I'm sitting there like,
Oh
"What
god.
what does this mean?"
Nothing good is about to
Yeah,
try that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I because the car hadn't stalled or anything like
Yeah,
that.
he stopped the
Yeah,
car.
he stopped the
Mhm.
car. And then, I don't know, he did some I don't remember what he said. If he I don't remember what he might have said, but I
Yeah.
do remember that he, like, came over to me and, there were no bucket seats, so it was,
A bench seat.
a bench seat, yeah.
Yes, and
He
you were in
ca
the front
I
seat.
was in the front, yes.
Mhm.
He came over to me and started putting his arms around me and
Oh.
feeling my breast,
Oh.
and I just almost collapsed. I had no idea what this meant, what I should do, what I should say, how I should handle this.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
I think I probably said a silent prayer. That's the only thing I could think of that I had done to, please don't let anything happen to me.
Mhm.
And it seemed like all of a sudden he decided that he wasn't going to go any further.
And did you say, like, "No," or did you have
Yes,
all internal communication?
when he first started coming over, I said, "Noah, what are you doing?" Or,
Uh-huh.
you know oh, yeah, I registered a complaint.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
I wasn't
Got
just
it.
silent,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
and he was saying something like, "Oh, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not"
yeah.
something like
Something.
that. Yeah, something.
Something terrible.
Yeah, something terrible. But then he went back, under the steering wheel and drove me home, and
And
that
did you ever babysit for them again?
never, no.
So, I mean, that could have ended so differently,
Oh, yes,
and
absolutely.
probably did for many people.
Right,
So I'm grateful that he didn't rape you,
right, right,
because he could have.
right.
And I know
Yeah.
you knew it at the time. I'm sure you knew it at the time.
Yes, yes, I
Yes.
did. Mhm. Yep.
And thank God that he had something inside of him
Something, uh-huh.
that said, I mean, outside of the fact that you were a minor, but that's a whole nother point.
Right, right.
There's something inside of him said I should stop.
Yeah, I should stop. I don't really have to do this.
Right.
I won't.
Because so in that time, when we think about this period of time that people like to call Jim Crow, men who were born in his demographic
Mhm.
really had no speed bumps or stop signs to regulate their behavior.
Right.
And I guess what I mean, he could have raped you and there would have been zero repercussion for him,
0.
right?
0.
And he
Mhm.
knew that, I'm sure. So I guess, I'm not giving him any kudos at all. I'm just highlighting the point that he did stop, and I'm grateful
Right,
for that.
right, and,
But the system set it up so that he really didn't have to. And the system was set up such that we are now grateful to this man for stopping
for
when he
stopping.
never should
Never
have
should
even.
have started.
Exactly.
Yes, never should have started. Never
Exactly.
should have stopped the car. Never
Never
should have
should
even had
have
this idea.
thought it.
Yes, absolutely.
Never should have thought it.
Right.
Right?
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
How did that leave you? Like, did that impact you at all in the next, like, did you feel like you were traumatized by that? Were you able to put it kind of behind you? Or what impact did that have on
I
you?
was traumatized by that. And
Yeah.
I was, like, I mean, I don't know. I was care I never did a night job after that,
You
you
said,
know.
"I'm not working at night."
Yeah, if somebody needed a babysitter,
Nope.
I wasn't the one.
So I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it because I don't know what could happen. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so then
Well,
after
I'm
I
sorry that happened.
yeah,
And thank you for sharing that with us. This is part of
yeah.
the journey you talk about bringing back the emotions of
Right,
all those things
right.
that happened. Yeah.
So after that, I went to college, I
Yeah.
went to Bishop College, and, I think did I talk about the jobs I had this yeah, I did. I talked about,
Mhm.
working for Reverend Sims,
Yeah. And then you
and
got
then
put
the other churches there. Yeah, so I did that, and, I worked in the summer. I don't think I talked about working in the summer
at the
at the
ammunition
ammunition
plant.
plant, did I?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah.
You may have mentioned it, but it seemed like you were, I don't know if you gave us the details, but you were making good money
Yeah, because we
at the
made like
ammunition plant,
$125 a week at the ammunition plant.
which is a lot of money
Right.
at that time.
Right. Yeah, yes, it was a lot
At
of money.
that time,
That's
that's a
what the
lot of.
adults made who built houses and lived and, sent the
Right.
kids to college and all this on
Exactly.
it, okay? Yes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. And then back in Dallas, the one summer I worked at a diner near the Continental Trailways bus terminal, which was on Lamar Street in Dallas.
Mhm.
And I worked from 6 in the morning till 2, so I had to catch a bus that was very scary, to
Yeah.
be out on the road catching a bus at 5 something to get down there to
Right.
do that.
Right.
But anyway, and the clientele was the travelers from the bus station, they'd run over and get something, hamburgers or
Uh-huh.
something. And then behind the, diner was, it was like a collection of drug users.
And do you know
And
what they were using?
somebody said they was sniffing glue.
And so that's all you knew. This
That's all I
maybe they
knew
were
is that
sniffing glue.
yeah, I don't know what else they might have been doing, but
Yep.
they would come into the diner from time to time and, be looking distraught and all that, and a lot of them would just want, like, beans, a bowl of beans or something like that,
Oh,
and sometimes the owner would say, "You don't even have to charge them anything,"
interesting.
just they can have that,
Yeah.
Often I remember that, yeah.
Like beans and rice kind of thing? Or like what would you
Well, it really wasn't they didn't even it wasn't beans and rice, it was just beans. They would
just
get a
beans.
bowl of beans, yeah,
What kind of
bowl of
beans?
beans, like
Were
pinto
these
beans.
pinto beans? Okay.
Uh-huh, like pinto beans, yep, but, yep.
So that was your time at the diner. And did you ever cook anything or were you just serving and
I cook sometimes if when the, cook was running late or something and
okay.
they needed me to make gravy or something, I don't know.
Were they
I
making gravy at the diner?
they were making gravy at the diner, and they weren't making
Interesting.
they were making it in a pot, and I always made gravy in a
In
skillet.
a skillet. So you were like, how do you make it in a
How do you
pot?
make it in a
I
pot?
guess you just
Yeah.
do the same steps, you know?
Yeah, you do, just in a pot,
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
yeah.
So that was part of your one of your jobs. And that was a summer job or were you doing that during the school year?
That was a summer job,
Okay.
summer job. During the
Okay.
school year, I only played for churches, that's how I
Okay.
made it,
And then
yeah.
kind of got your lesson when you felt like it.
When I felt like yeah, you remember I said that.
Uh-huh.
Oh god.
All right. So
Okay.
what was the
The
next thing you did?
the next thing I did before I left college was working for Collins Radio. I think I might have mentioned that before. I don't know if I mentioned the fact that, we were making parts for, the, space missions for Mercury, Gemini, and the Apollo space missions.
How did you figure that out?
Well, I discovered that later when I looked up Collins Radio to find out what it
Oh,
was because we had no idea. See, we were on like an assembly line and we were soldering wires to small boards or whatever,
yes.
but we never knew what the
Then
big piece was. We
yes,
didn't do that.
understood. You were
Yeah,
just
we
doing
just
the
did that.
technical work.
Yeah, just doing that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
That's super interesting.
yeah, that
That's
is
awesome.
right.
Okay. And so
And
you did
then,
that during your last summer. That was your last summer job
yeah,
there.
last summer job. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we moved to Boston.
Right. You
And
had the big move, you caught the bus, you and
y-
Tyra were
yes.
struggling on this bus for two and a half
But
days.
yeah,
And then finally got to Boston where
right.
you and dad started your life as a married
Yes.
couple.
Yes, yes.
And
Uh,
how did you manage your work life once you were now a graduate of college and were ready to enter the workforce?
Well, I got a job at the, Boston with the Boston Public Schools,
Okay.
and, my first teaching job was in Roxbury, and,
Mhm.
it seems like to me we said this once before, but I
Mhm.
was
We
in
did.
Roxbury, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I taught 1st through 6th grade, and Miss, Charlotte Feldman was my supervisor. I'm not
Yes.
sure if I talked about her. I can't talk about her enough because
Like you said, just do it again. Just tell us
yeah,
about Miss
she
Feldman.
was she was so helpful in that
Yeah.
situation. I
Yeah.
mean, she came and she held my hand, and she
Oh,
also wanted to know about my personal life, you
yes.
know,
She was
so
interested in you
sh
as a person.
as a person, yeah.
Yes, which is
So
so sweet. Yeah.
so that memory comes to me, and it's so sweet to hear and to
Do
think
you know
about and
anything
to
about
bring
her
back.
life?
Uh, Not really.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
wonder if was she Jewish?
Yes, she was
I
Jewish.
wonder if
Uh-huh.
she had just immigrated or whether she had family that had been in the Holocaust. I just wonder like what her story
Yeah.
was.
Well, her
Because
story,
it seems
right.
like she may not have had some of the same inherent biases that you encountered in some other people. Do you know what
Right.
I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Like she embraced you.
right.
And it may just be that she was able to see you, right? Like
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
understood some of your potential struggle. So that's really
Yeah,
I'm so glad you had her as a supervisor for a period of time.
right, and then, one of the, mentors that she introduced me to, and I can't think of her name,
Do you
but
hate
sh
that? Do you just hate that you like,
I do hate
oh, what's
that.
her name? So you had somebody that she connected you to that could
Yeah, she
help you.
connected me to, and she
Mhm.
lived right in walking distance of where I lived.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so she invited me to, her apartment one
Uh-huh.
day.
She was a single person.
Single person, yes,
Okay. And
and
introduced you to
she introduced
grilled
me
cheese, didn't
grilled
she?
cheese, yeah, grilled cheese, and that was so
And
good.
tomatoes. I think you said it was the first time you'd ever had grilled cheese and tomato soup together. Is
No, it
that
was grilled cheese and peaches,
oh,
Del Monte
peaches,
peaches,
right.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. You did share
yes,
that with
yes,
us.
and
Okay.
then a very tragic thing happened to her, she went to Europe the next summer with a group of people, and,
And
somebody said she fell out of a window
mm,
3 or 4 stories high and died, yeah, so that was tragic.
suspicious, right? That's quite suspicious.
Very, very suspicious, and I don't
Mhm.
know if they ever got to the bottom of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or ever looked for the bottom.
Or look for the bottom. Yeah. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
And then
So that was your time in Boston and
right. Then when we came to Springfield, we were there for 3 years in
mhm.
Boston.
Mhm.
Then we moved to Springfield. Miles took on a, pastorate there,
Mhm.
and, so I was looking for a job.
Yep.
Went down to the school department, and they said they had no jobs, but they may have some in Wilbraham, which is a suburb of Springfield.
Yeah.
So I went out to Wilbraham looking for a job, and the guy gave me an interview. And at the close of the interview, he told me that he was sure that I was qualified for the job and should have the job, but that the administration would not hire me because I was black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you
So,
feel? How'd you feel when he said that
oh, it angered me. It surprised me because
did it
I had never had anybody tell me that
to your face?
to my face. Yes.
So even if you had lived under the effects of racism, it had never talked to you in your
I had
face.
never been face to face. We lived in our
Yeah.
community.
Yes.
We didn't live among everybody. Everybody lived in their own community.
Yeah.
I had not faced that before. Yeah.
Did
And
you
of
did you so the North and the South are very different in their expressions of racism.
right, right.
Some people believe people in the North aren't as racist, and that's categorically not true. Having been born and raised in Massachusetts myself,
The point is when you live in the South, you somehow or another you have this feeling. You have somehow or another they have somebody has put this in the ethos that, they're not racist in the North or whatever. Because when I got to Boston, I said, "Oh wow, okay."
so you feel like there was a myth about
I
this.
thought there was a myth about it. Yeah.
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 So I feel like the myth hasn't gone away much.
Oh, I
People are
agree.
still discovering that there's racism in the North.
Right,
But
right.
so how was it different for you besides the fact that this man just told you to your face that, and I guess, was he saying, was it a favor that he was doing it? Like, he's like, I
Well,
can tell you that they're not going to hire you even though you're qualified.
yeah, well, I really got the feeling that he was sorry about that. himself
Mhm, mhm,
because he really, I mean, he expressed that, like there was really nothing that he could do,
mhm.
but like this is how it is.
This is how it is, so
This is how it
I
is.
can't change it, one person can't
Right,
change it.
right. So
Yeah,
I felt that he was genuinely, he didn't even want to say this, but he had to say it,
but felt
whatever.
compelled, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And speaking of racism, as you experienced it in the North, having grown up and having been educated in the South, when was the first time you were ever called the N-word?
I was called the N word in Boston for the first time.
For the first time.
The first time, yes.
Yeah.
I was at like a little shopping center or whatever, and I had been waiting for this parking spot because I saw this lady coming.
Uh-huh.
And in the meantime, another lady drove up.
Yeah.
A white lady drove up, and she saw that this lady was moving.
Uh-huh.
So she decided that that parking spot should be hers.
Well, I can't
Well,
wait to hear how this ends because
well,
I know what kind of driver you are. So
well,
who got the spot?
well. When the lady pulled out, I made sure that I got
You
right in
pulled
there.
in. Yep.
I pulled in there, yes. And then she drove up behind me, and she started calling me all kind of niggers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time in
First
Boston.
time in Boston. Yes.
That's interesting, right?
Uh
For a
huh.
person who grew up in what people think of as like I mean, there was racism in the South.
Oh
Don't get me wrong,
yes,
plenty of
absolutely.
it. But the first
Plenty.
time you were ever called that,
Yes.
I mean, the only time I've ever been called the N word was in Massachusetts.
Oh, when were you called a nigger in
Did
Massachusetts?
I not tell you
N
this?
I don't remember that.
I was in fifth grade and I was catching the bus home from
Uh-huh.
Ursuline Academy.
Okay.
And one of the students who I remember what house she lived in because we
Uh-huh.
were on her street. And I have no idea what prompted her to call me that, but she did, and what I don't remember is, like, what I said. Isn't that funny? Like, you can
Uh-huh.
remember a certain piece of a memory, but I don't
Right.
remember, like, how I responded or what I said, but I remember that she said that, and that's actually the only time in my entire life I've ever been called a nigger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
to my face. I'm sure some other people have thought it, but yeah,
Yeah.
she said it to my face. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, how many times in your life were you
I
called
would
this?
say twice because when I was teaching in Boston, well, when I get there, well, I can go ahead and say it now. When I got there, an 8th grade boy in the classroom called me a nigger.
Oh, you mean in Boston or Hartford?
No,
Okay,
in Hartford.
we didn't get there yet. Okay. So let's rewind the clock. So you moved from Boston to Springfield because dad got a church. Dad was assigned to it. Not assigned because Baptists didn't have people assigning. He accepted the
Uh-huh.
pastoral
Uh-huh.
job at a church.
Right, right.
And so you moved out there and you were looking for
Uh-huh.
a job and Wilbraham didn't work out clearly because you were black.
Right.
And so what did you do after that to find a job?
Okay, after that, a lady in our church, Miss Gary, I remember her name.
Mhm.
Her
I don't know who she is.
she had a daughter who worked in, Hartford,
Okay.
at the school department. I don't even remember what she did or whatever.
Yep.
But apparently she learned that I was looking for a job, and she told her mom to tell me that they had jobs in Hartford. So
Nice.
it was like that very next Sunday, after that Monday or whatever, I had been told that I couldn't have this job.
Mhm, mhm.
She came up to me and said, "My daughter said that there are jobs in Hartford, which is 20 miles away, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And in another state, but
Yes,
that's
crossing
fine.
state lines.
I can."
Springfield's right on the edge
Yes,
of
right on the edge.
Connecticut. Mhm.
Yeah. So she gave me all the information, and so I traveled down to, Hartford, and when I stepped off in there, they were as happy to see me as I was to see them, because
It was
they
a
need
mutual happy. You're like, "I'm
a
so happy to be
mutual.
here," and they said, "We're
Yeah,
so happy to
we're so
have
happy
you."
to have you. I mean, they barely looked at my credentials, you know what I mean?
Right, you said, "But I have the
I
credentials."
have the credentials. I'm alright, and I
Yeah,
have some experience because 'cause I've worked in
right, that's
Boston.
true.
Yeah,
You were a couple years in. Yep,
yeah, yeah, so,
yep. Oh, that's awesome. So you started working in Hartford?
yeah. So I started working in Hartford,
Yep, and what
and
grade? So you
at
had already done, like, what, 1 through 6? Grades 1
yeah,
through
1 through
6?
6, and
And then what were you teaching then?
I was assigned another 1 through 6 school. Yeah,
Okay.
in the North End, which was the black side of town.
Ah, uh-huh.
Yeah, and I was assigned 2 schools because music teachers sometimes travel from school to school.
That just
They were
ooh, that's
treating us
so
so
raggedy.
bad.
Oh, and
It's raggedy,
art and music
and it's so
teachers,
hard to do.
it's so hard to do. And
Yes.
I just feel like the arts and music always get the short end of the stick, you know?
Right,
Like there's
right.
just not enough funding ever
Yep,
really from arts and music.
and
Okay,
it's the
so you
first thing that's always cut, you know?
always,
Yeah,
always cut. And it's
yeah.
sometimes the thing that keeps kids in school.
Absolutely.
keeps them
Yeah.
engaged. They need that. They need those kinds of activities. Okay, so you taught there for a little while, and then what
Yeah,
happened?
I taught there for a year, and then at the end of that year, well, I was pregnant with you.
With me, and so you
Yes.
gave birth to me at the end of that year.
Yeah, at the end of that year in the
Okay.
summer,
Yeah.
and, then I took a year off, good as I felt.
Good as you felt. So I wanna take a year.
I'm gonna take a year off, so I took
Good
a
for
year off.
you. Good
I
for
said,
you.
"We'll make it somehow,"
Yeah, and you did. And you
and we
did,
did,
right?
yeah. And then when I went back, they assigned me to Kennelly School, which was a K-8 school.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was that experience? Because now you're, like, deep into you're like a junior faculty, we would call, right? Entering, like, starting to get into the middle part of your experience as a teacher.
Right,
And how
right.
was that? And this is the school where you said the young boy called you a nigger.
Right, right.
Yes.
So okay, so I had the K through it was a K through 8 school,
Mhm.
and this was in the then in the, south end of Boston, where the Italians lived,
Yes.
okay?
People don't believe me when I tell them that Massachusetts, even through the time that I was in high school, was still divided by white ethnicity,
Uh-huh,
not just by black ethnicity.
right.
That the Irish and the Italians were still fighting. Yeah, right? It's very interesting. Yeah, you don't see that division anymore, but we definitely still saw it in the 80s.
So when I got there, it was 90%, white, you know?
Yeah.
The principal was, phew, stoic. She was dressed, like an old English person or something, and,
Rigid, rigid,
rigid,
unapproachable. I'm just guessing.
unapproachable.
I'm just throwing words out there. I'm just throwing words out there.
I've given you enough information for you to finish the
Mm.
sentence, okay?
Yes, yes.
That's what it is. So she asked me to come in her office. I went in her office, and, of course, she kinda laid the law down to me, you know?
And was that in response to something you had done or just like you're
She had
starting here
never
in this
she had never met me before.
okay, you were just starting. This is
I'm
like
just
your first
starting.
right, and
This
she's
is the
telling you
first time I've seen her.
how this is how it goes here.
This is how
And
it goes here.
uh-huh,
You know,
uh-huh.
I don't know what she thought I was gonna be teaching them or whatever. I had no idea.
Besides music, like
Besides music, right,
right.
besides music. But, but she laid the law down how I don't even remember what else she said. I
Yeah,
just
but you
remember,
but you left with the impression.
I left with the
You
impression,
feel
Lord
the
have mer
presence yeah, you said, "Oh my
what am
god,
I into
what have
here?
I done? What have I
What
done?"
have I
Mhm.
done? And a lot
Yeah.
of the teachers were looking at me like strange, and a lot of times when they first started bringing their classes to me, some of them would sit in the class for a while, see
'Cause they
what was
didn't
going
trust you.
on, and
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and
they didn't trust you.
it was strange, yeah,
You told me
but
something about Kennelly that I thought was interesting. There was a sizable Vietnamese population, right?
there
At
was a
that
class, and there was
and
a
they
class.
right, so they had to have had a sizable population in Hartford.
Right.
And so tell me about that, what you saw there, because I don't think I've heard of this experience for some Asian Americans who had immigrated here.
Yeah, well, the, Vietnamese teacher would bring them over. They were assigned once a week like the rest of the
Mhm,
classes that I taught,
mhm.
and, I didn't speak Vietnamese and they didn't speak English.
But you all spoke
So,
music.
we smoked music. Yeah, and and, uh, and the teacher told me, he said, "They love you." He said, "They love you. They can't wait to come to your
That is
class,"
so exciting. I
even
love
though
to
I
hear that.
yeah,
That
so I
we can't speak to each other, but
right, but
yeah.
I would teach them some of the music instruments and things that we had and the
Yeah.
clapping exercises
Yeah.
and just in the songs and just,
Yeah. You just
and
engage them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's wonderful that, first of all, they had you, that they had that experience with you, and that they were given the opportunity by the school system to have a teacher who spoke in their language, who
right,
could help bridge them to
right.
English, which they had to in order to kind of make it in Hartford, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah,
So they had that opportunity. That I think that's wonderful. Thank you for taking a little shortcut to talk about, or a little veering off to talk about that teacher, because I just remembered that you had shared that with me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so tell me about your career. So now we've talked about jobs and you explained what it was like to be kind of a domestic, and like we've heard a lot about what it was like to pick cotton and pull cotton. What did your career, how did you, like, what are the things that you're most proud of about your career as a music teacher? And Canelli was a lot of it because you spent a lot of time.
Canelli was a lot of it, And what happened was I ended up having a choir of maybe almost 100 kids, junior high kids in
Nice.
my choir.
Uh-huh.
And we put on programs. I put on big programs at least twice a year for Christmas and then in the spring
Yep.
concerts.
I remember them.
I got every student in that school on the stage.
And you made it a
Every
point to do
student.
that. You
I
always
made it
wanted,
a
yep.
point,
Mhm.
yes, to have every student on the stage to get a chance to perform.
Yes.
And I took them on field trips. I took them to see Broadway shows in New York.
Nice.
I took them to Boston,
Yep.
to, get some of the history there, and, it was just wonderful. My teaching career was really wonderful. I
I'm so
loved
glad
it.
to hear that. You
Yes.
loved being a teacher.
Yes. I loved singing. I loved having them sing and do theory and history and bringing out as much, as they could, and I think they all enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it myself.
And
Yeah.
did you ever have any trouble teaching? Like, teaching is stressful. I mean, I can only say that for my little 6 months of being substitute teacher between college and med school. It was very stressful for me,
Oh,
and maybe it wasn't as much for you, but
it's one
I
of the most stressful jobs that you can have. As a matter of fact, one time it was listed right below, was it airline
air
pilots?
traffic controllers.
Maybe, yeah, air traffic controllers,
Uh-huh,
maybe. It
uh-huh.
was it was like number 2
I believe
at
it.
one
It is
time,
so
yeah.
stressful.
It's very
Yep,
stressful.
yep.
And I had some trouble with especially the junior high when I first got to Canelli,
Mm.
with classroom management.
Okay, what
So
were your difficulties? Like, what did you find difficult?
oh, just to get
Everything.
them, just every I can name it, you know? They're throwing spitballs, they're
Oh,
talking, you can't shut them up.
yep,
They're, just
yeah.
carrying on, just
Just couldn't
carrying
get a
on.
handle on it, like,
I
they were
couldn't get
just
a handle on it.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, one time I said, "Maybe I need to get out of this profession." And it was about that time that I saw a poster on the board. It was called Classroom Management, and
Hmm,
this woman at the University of Massachusetts was teaching this class. Her name was Marie Hartwell Walker.
mhm.
She was teaching a class called Maintaining Sanity in the Classroom, and I took this class from her, and it changed my life, changed
Changed your
my
life.
teaching life. Yes.
What did you learn from that experience that helped you, like, realign, like, how you taught, or what made it doable for you after learning some things?
Well, it was the, Adlerian psychology of human beings, actually, and
Yep.
of children, and of
And that human
children.
beings are the same, right?
Yeah, human beings,
We're
all
the
human
same.
beings.
Yep, yep. Our behaviors and misbehaviors are all pretty much the same.
Right.
Yep.
So, it changed the way I saw kids. It
Yeah.
changed the way I responded to their behavior.
Yeah.
And because there were specific, tools to use, you know,
Yes.
like if a child okay, what you want to do is make your classroom a community, and you
Okay.
want to make your classroom where everybody feels seen, respected, wanted,
Mhm.
valued, okay?
You were doing inclusion work.
I was doing inclusion
That's
work.
original inclusion work.
Yes. So if I
Mhm.
had a child who wanted to sit by himself because he was, didn't think well of himself or, didn't feel that he had all the answers or whatever,
Mhm.
I would pair that child up with another child by asking someone who was kind of outgoing.
Mhm.
And I would have that child come to me after school and we would talk, and I would talk about Joe Blow, who is sitting alone and doesn't feel included in this classroom.
Mm.
And we need to do something about it. Is there anything you can do? Can you include him or her in your
Mm.
group? Is it okay if I let them sit next to you? And 9 times out of 10, they would say, yes, Miss Crawford, I'll do that.
Because suddenly they have so not only are you helping the student who is feeling isolated or exhibiting behaviors that looks like he or she's isolated, they're isolated.
Right,
But you've done something for the student also that you've asked to help.
right.
You've given them kind of a role, a level of responsibility. Like, they probably
Yes.
felt good about that maybe.
Yes, yes, they did. They did. Yes. And whenever I had a child who was really acting up in class, I would quietly ask them. I wouldn't confront them in class most times unless they were just outraged. But at the end of the class, when they were leaving, I would say,
Mhm,
"John, could you step over
mhm,
here for a minute?"
mhm,
And I would say, "Could I talk to you for a minute after school today?" And he said, "What you
mm.
want?" I said, I just want to talk to you for a minute after school." And
Uh-huh,
he would come, and then we would go through this process of like trying to determine if he was acting out like this because he just wanted attention. Was he
Yeah.
acting out because he felt threatened and he wanted to act out? He wanted to,
Uh-huh.
show his, that he could, didn't have to take this.
Yep.
Or did he feel like, he was mistreated, therefore he needed to mistreat somebody? Or was he a person who felt that, he was unable to learn, and therefore he is withdrawn from class completely because he has assumed a disability. Yes.
Yes. Or
So
maybe
this
has a disability
or has a
and
disability, right.
yes.
And this line of questioning that Adlerian psychology had given would tease out exactly where he was. Because as you go through a line of questioning, he or she would respond when you hit the nail on the head. They would respond in some way.
And you saw it in real time. Like this happened. Were you able to do this over like you saw results with multiple kids doing this approach?
Multiple kids, multiple kids. And then we would sit and I would say, okay, it seems as though so and so. And then I would, tease it out right there where he was or she was. And they would, 9 times out of 10, I would say, are you doing this just to get my attention? If that's where they were. And 9 times out of 10, they would say, yes, Miss Crawford, I am, because we're alone. That
Yeah.
nobody's there listening. It's just the two of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And then we would go through, how are we going to handle it? And I would get them, they would say, "Well, I'm gonna stop." And I said, "Well, how do you know you're gonna stop? Or what should we do if you don't seem
Yeah.
to be
How
able
should
to
we
stop?
handle it
How
if you're
should we
not
handle
able to
it?"
stop?
Yeah. So
Yeah, really
it
engaging
was
them
really
in
engaging.
their own behavioral process, like trying to understand it and manage it. Like you needed cooperation from them and they honestly needed it from you, right? How to, as a team, approach this problem.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
So, one of the things I remember when you were working on your master's, I was young, maybe 8 or so, maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9. And you had been learning more about Adlerian psychology and classroom management, but of course it spilled over into your own parenting
Yes, because it
and
goes hand in hand.
it goes hand in hand. And one of the things that you believe were learning then and still believe now is that the consequence should be directly related to the event,
To the
right?
event, yes.
And we were at Granny's house. I just have to bring this up and
Uh-huh.
share with the audience. And I said something slick in the mouth to you. I don't know what did I say? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I
I
don't
said
remember.
something that was inappropriate, right? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I was mouthing off. And how did you respond? I'm chuckling because
Yeah, I simply said because you never, you don't blame the person. You talk about the event,
the
okay?
event. It's not the
Yeah.
person. It's the event. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, since you don't know how to speak to me, then we don't need to communicate." Yeah.
Yes, you went silent.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
I
for
went silent.
everybody listening, my mother stopped talking to me for days.
Uh-huh.
And
It
I
was a few
was
days, 2 or 3 days.
always felt like 10 years, but
Yeah.
I know it was only 2 or 3 days.
Uh-huh.
And then in those 2 or 3 days, I was so traumatized. I was trying to get Granny I was like, "Granny, can you please have her talk to me?" And Granny was like, I'm not in this. This is between you and your mother." And I don't know that anything could have been more impactful for me than to lose the ability to communicate with you
Right, right.
because
Yeah,
I wasn't respecting you in the relationship. And
right,
so then I lost access to you.
right.
And man,
And
I
that
don't
was
think
actually the only thing I took from you. I would still smile with you and let you know that I loved you and all
I
that
don't
in
even
that way.
remember that. I
You
don't
don't even
remember that.
remember that
I don't
part,
remember
yeah.
that part.
Uh-huh,
But you just wouldn't talk to me. Like you
uh-huh,
would do other stuff.
yeah.
Honey, my whole world seemed like it was just coming in on me. It was so traumatic, but it was so effective, right?
Effective, it's
It
effective.
was so effective. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think you ever had a problem with me after that.
yeah, because it stresses using consequences rather than punishment. They're
Right.
they're 2 different things.
They
Uh-huh,
are two different things.
yes.
Oh, that's a
And
ma-
I was thinking at some point I might do a podcast on that,
I think it
just
would
for
be
teachers or for
great just
whoever
for
wanted.
teachers or whomever might want to
Yeah.
listen.
Uh-huh,
Even
yeah,
parents, you know? Yeah, parents might want to listen to that too. I was too busy being a doctor to really to access the information, but I wish I had as
right,
well in my own parenting. Like I could have
right.
used more
Yeah.
psychology. Okay, so tell us about so you were at Kennelly, which is in South Hartford, which you were there for a very long time. you had a great principal there, right?
Uh-huh,
So the first
uh-huh.
one was really proper, but she left.
Yeah.
And then you had another person come in. What was her name?
M uh, oh gosh, what was her name?
Mrs.
Irwin, Mrs. Irwin.
Okay.
Mrs. Irwin came in.
And
Uh-huh.
she came, and was she there for most of your time at Canelo?
Right, for most of
Okay.
the time, uh-huh.
Okay.
But when she left, another guy came, and he was okay, you know?
He was alright. He wasn't
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, he
Yeah, he
wasn't
wasn't
bad.
bad,
So you
yeah.
were able to really do all the things that you love to do, get the kids on stage for all the time that you were there. Like, you really that was your experience at Kennelly. And what made you leave Kennelly?
Well, they opened up a new strictly junior high school, and I decided that I would go try that rather than
Okay.
K through 8 because
You were done with those little kids.
it wasn't that I was done with them, but I had to make plans for every grade, every class, every age group, and,
Yes.
I said, "Well, just let me go and do some junior high," and I went to, South Middle
To
School.
South Middle School. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can understand that. Little kids are so dirty.
They
I
are,
can
and
see wanting to go to
they
junior
want to be
high
they
because
want
they
to be
wanna
next to
touch you.
you.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. When I was a substitute teacher, those little kindergartners and first graders, they hang on you.
Uh-huh, they do.
They literally hang and all their little noses are running,
Yeah,
and they're
and their
touching
hands are
everything.
all over it
Oh,
and everything, yeah.
Lord have mercy.
I know.
Okay, so you went to South Middle, and how
Yeah.
was that experience?
It was good because we had a really nice principal there,
Yeah.
and
You've
as a
been
matter
very
of
fortunate. You've had some good leadership in your
yeah, and
yeah.
he gave me a schedule that was just ice cream with cherries on the top, okay? So
Yes.
I had classes for 4 days, and on Fridays, I was allowed to teach, I was allowed to do chorus, I was allowed to do private lessons, I was allowed to do whatever
Wow!
I wanted to do on
So you could
Fridays.
so you could actually do, give electives and that kinda thing
Yes,
to
yes, some
people.
kind of electives in the arts, yeah, I could
Wow!
do on
That is
Fridays, yeah,
impressive. And what
yeah.
kind of electives did you end up doing? Like, what
I'm
did you do for
trying to think. Well,
I don't remember.
I had choirs, and
Yeah.
I had a step group.
Oh, I remember. You had a step group, step
Uh-huh, I
team.
had a
Yeah.
step team,
Yeah.
and I had, some small groups, that did some stuff, and we did some musicals, and, yeah.
That
Yep,
was really awesome. So that was your last school, though,
that was my last school, yeah,
and you retired.
and I retired in 1999.
So
Mm,
you were
uh-huh,
55 years old,
yes,
a year
uh-huh,
older than I am now. Are
yes,
you glad you retired when you did?
absolutely,
I
yes.
mean, I remember you struggling at the end. You were like, "I can hardly make it." I'm just glad that you had put the years in a system that allowed you to retire well. Like, not just to
Yeah,
retire, but retire well. And then
yeah,
what was your last job? So now we talked about all the jobs you've had. You started out playing at a church when you were 9. And what was the
uh,
last thing you did for money?
well, I mean, that was the last thing,
Yep.
teaching,
No,
yeah.
you played for churches until 12 years ago.
Yes, I did, but I thought I would do that on my next podcast when I
I
talk about
understand, but
my
it was
musical
but it was
journey.
still your last job.
It was still my last job. I played for churches for 60 years.
Ugh.
Yes,
So you started with that job and you ended with that
and I
job,
ended with that job. Yes, I did.
which is amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. Anything that we missed in talking about your jobs or
I
your
don't know.
career?
I can't think of anything else at the moment. Yeah.
Well, it's been fun chatting about it.
Yeah, it's always fun chatting with you, and thank you so much for helping me do this.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, I'm glad to leave this for whoever wanna hear it, if
Right.
nobody
You
wants to
said,
hear it, it's
"That's
fine.
fine."
Yeah, it's fine.
You said, "If somebody wants to hear it, that's fantastic."
Yeah,
Yep,
it's fantastic.
exactly.
Mhm.
All right, well, I guess we will see you all next time.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.